This is the after party with
Jonathan McFadden.
So for the first time in at least a week or two, this is actually an after party that takes place after. I mean, I guess the class was kind of like a party. But I'm joined by Kate and Kathy, actresses, professionals, really cool chicks. Like we've been talking now for what? I said maybe 20 minutes. We've been talking for 45 minutes, but it just seems so comfortable and pleasant. And I think that's because they just came out of Epic Auditions and Business Mastery with LINDSI Jeter, and they're smiling, so that's a good sign. Ladies, how did it go?
Phenomenal, literally. Everyone in that class was me too. I don't even need my dinner anymore. I was laughing up that much. It was just so good, and it wasn't just general. It was very specific to you, and it was like, right, what do you need? Okay, and she's writing everything down. She's written everything down as specific to you, and she's just that sort of person who's going to keep you on track when we can so easily just be like, it was great. You're more eloquent, Katherine.
No, the lapping up of it so you don't have to eat dinner, that was like my favorite part of what you just
Not only can this class get you booked, but it can help you like lose weight and lower your cholesterol.
Exactly. Wow,
It's a LINDSI Jeter diet.
Maybe you could save
No, but it was you're right on the money there though, Kate. I mean, I felt like it was very personalized. At the same time, I got an enormous amount of value by listening in on others. And one of the things that I absolutely loved about it was when we all talked about our goals and how she helped us get very specific about how we're going to get there. And that to me, and not that we talked about it, solve the world's problems about that tonight, because it was only one night, but exactly how we would unwrap that as we go along. And it just made me so excited and so committed. Like I put it on my calendar, like it's a must do every Monday night now.
Yay!
She's going to keep us on track. And hold us accountable. Like I was saying,
I know she has good things. Like she has tools that, I mean, and I never really thought about like the audition tracker, and it just because of where she comes from as an agent and where she comes from and all of that skill set from her background, that depth of knowledge. It's like having an insider give you all the juicy details that you need.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly it. I was telling Kate, it takes someone special for me to say, okay, are you going to take this class over for me, or am I going to design a class that's specifically for you that we've never done before? The only people I'm going to do that for are the people that I know without a doubt, and we still get nervous, but without a doubt will deliver above and beyond what's expected.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
It totally does. And you can see that there's so much behind her. She's like, everything that you say to her, everything all the students are saying to her, she's like, oh my god, I need to get all this information out, but I've not got enough time. Next week we're going to do this. She's already got everything planned because she's just got so much that she wants to get out.
And knowing her, I bet she was literally writing that we're going to do this next time.
She was, yeah. The nice thing though, it was about the class, and so there was no assumptions on her part. Like I know she probably knew they're going to need these tools, but she listened to us and then figured out what we needed. And that was really cool. I didn't feel like it was this predetermined syllabus sort of thing. It was more about here's who's in the class, and so I'm going to match those needs. And that
what
was
does
really
that sound like to you, Kate? What does that sound like?
You.
It's what I've always done. It's what I've always done. And people are like, well, you can't scale your business that way. I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Like literally, what define that? They said, well,
Yeah.
you can't grow it and build it because if you're always tailoring a class or curriculum to the people in the class, then that class is going to change and the curriculum is going to change depending on the new people that come in. I'm like, well, that's what we do.
That's,
Yes,
but it's
please.
also, it's not education and knowledge. It's not a one size fits all. Like, well, I've written this, so I feel like you should all learn this. Well, that's not helpful to me. What's
Right.
helpful to me is what I'm asking you for, and you give it to them. Lindsay gave it to it. You know, I'm not. That's ridiculous.
What
Always
was
did it.
Yeah, and especially as an actor and where we are on our journeys, this is about audition and about business. And where are we in that path? And some of us are farther along in some and not as far along in the others, and mixed and matched within this group. And I could get a sense that if we have someone new join, they'll just come along in the same way, and then someone else or someone else or some, I mean, you could really get a sense of how it would be easily wrapping new people in, and having different energies and stuff.
And I think all of our classes are like that. I have said this from the very beginning, and I'll be damned if it hasn't been proven time and time and time and time again. And one of them, she went real big time again, which was we as a group have a way of indirectly and even politely squeezing out the bad eggs. If there's somebody there who is not as in it for the group as they are for themselves, because obviously we're all there to, get something for ourselves. But if they're not supporting the group, or if there's a lot of selfishness, a lot of ego,
Yeah.
that person kind of gets squeezed out.
Yeah.
And the
Not in a
people,
malicious way or a bad way. It's just like it's just you don't fit into this group because there's no time for it in this group. We want to see
Right.
everybody else succeed. So if you're there for yourself, then just bye.
here's the thing: we're not as actors, as talent, right? Our job is not numbers and measurements and science. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge science fan. I'm such a huge space geek. Like you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. But
I know because I had to learn all about science and space the other day.
Kate's husband. Kate's husband. I think I met your husband out in Cocoa Village at one point. Because of the company he works for. When he said who he worked for, the rest of our conversation that evening was all about space. People were like, oh, let's go to this next club. Let's go to this next bar. And we were like, yeah, but we're going to talk about the Mars One program and why it didn't work. Like, we were so, anyway.
Into it. Yeah.
But as actors, it's not about when we're working, right? It's not about numbers and amounts. It's not quantitative, it's qualitative, and we've got to be able to see the pretty colors and feel all the feels. It's not about how many colors or how many feels, right? But when you're learning the business side, you have to sort of like switch the track. You have to pull that lever and switch your train
Mhm.
to the business side, and that's not easy to do. And it's even more difficult when you've got somebody who's a Debbie Downer, or you've got somebody who's all me,
Yeah.
and the group doesn't respond well to that. So it's not that people are rude, they just kind of don't ask them to be their scene partners. The people don't offer any real help.
And those people also just don't feel like, they're in it and it's not the right class for them. Maybe they need to be surrounded by people of the same manner. But
And
that's
maybe there's a great class for them out there. Uh, and that's a-okay.
Yeah.
I think what we provide here is a very safe and welcoming place for people who are, safe and welcoming.
Oh, totally. Totally.
What was your absolute favorite moment in the class? Now, Kathy, I know you said when you were talking about goals, but what about your favorite moment outside of that? Like maybe when somebody else was talking or, doing something. What did you absolutely love? Your second choice, since goals was number one.
That Orlando Shakes moment, where we were, when just talking about goals with Janine, right? Is that her saying? Yeah. And then she said, "Oh, Orlando Shakes," and for Janine to go, "Oh yeah, that's like, that was my dream. That would be my dream." And we all sort of cracked up because we were all like, and there we have it. There is
Yep.
the goal. And then
Yeah.
for the conversation to really go into, what does that feel like then? What would you need? From where you are today, how would you get? It was such a cool, like, to see Janine's face light up like that was so cool. It was like all of us. I just felt like we were all like, yay.
Your favorite part, and I love this, was when LINDSI kind of brought Janine's dream to the forefront so that we can take the dream and turn it into a goal. Because while they're closely related, they are two very separate nouns, right?
Made it completely tangible and reachable, and not like so out of reach. She was like, "Okay, how'd you do it? Let's do it." Oh my God, who says that to you? Who says what's your dream role? What's your dream that you want to do? All right, let's make it happen. What? Okay, and that's what
Right.
Linda said. And
But she did it in a pragmatic way, and this is how we'll do it. It was so cool.
She was like, "Of course it, like, yeah, you're right. Why wouldn't it happen? Here are the steps. Let's figure out the steps. Why wouldn't it happen?" And you just
And then everyone's looking around going like, yeah, why wouldn't it? I mean, those steps seem pretty maybe I want to do it too. Like everybody's thinking, I guess I could do that. The steps seem so easy.
Explain it in such a way that you go, that makes total sense. And it's like so obvious, but like so not obvious. She'll say it and you'll be like, yeah, duh. Why would you not think to do that?
The lessons are so clear and concise that you feel like you've always known this information. You've just been reminded of it. And so now you can take action, right? And that's my big thing, is actionable feedback.
Yes.
What about you, Kate? What was your absolute favorite moment? You don't get to pick the same one.
I know, because it was a cool one.
It was a really cool one, and Kathy took it from you.
Really cool. Thanks, Kathy.
No problem.
All of mine are always Chris Graham related, but that by the side. If I can't pick Chris,
you can, but you have to tell the backstory.
About it.
The backstory to Chris Graham.
Well, Chris Graham's situation today. The backstory to Chris Graham would be one of those like multi-episode series that you have to tune into like once a week.
Grasp it. So all of Chris's life has now led up to this moment where he's had LASIK surgery. He sat with 2 pairs of sunglasses on.
It sounds like we're creating an improv scenario. Like, all right. So Chris Graham, right? Chris Graham, who's a character in himself. Chris Graham gets, let me pull the next tab out, LASIK surgery. It's like we're just making it up.
Is he wearing? 5
pairs of sunglasses.
And it makes sense because it's Chris. But it didn't just affect his eyes, it affected his speech. And it was like, Chris, what have you done? And he's like, I. You're like, what did you do, Chris? What did you do? You only had your eyes done. That's Chris, and he's marvelous because there's nobody like Chris.
Chris Graham is one of my favorite comedic actors. Everyone's like, hey, who's your favorite actor? I'm like, you're not going to know any of these people. They're like, well, try me. I might. I watch a lot of Netflix. I have HBO Max. I'm like, okay, well, Chris Graham. You ever heard of him? No. What's he been in? I'm like, he was in a YouFit commercial. based on the class that you had tonight, Epic Auditions and Business Mastery with LINDSI Jeter, what do you foresee your overall experience with this class being? Like, let's say 6 months into the future.
Oh boy, that's a good question. I definitely foresee, based on what we did tonight, what we covered tonight, I will have probably yeah. So okay. So in 6 months, I do feel like well, I know for sure my confidence about auditions will be, locked like for just general auditions, but it'll be great to have that access to things like the audition I have coming up. It's kind of wonky. Like, okay, how do you do that? Like, it's wonky, but I love the idea that in 6 months from now, I will have a recording of my spreadsheet of everything I auditioned for, and have that track record of types.
Oh, on your own personal document, right? Not just clicking what have I been submitted for on Actors Access, which is available, but you're talking about everything across the board on one spreadsheet. Ooh, the word spreadsheet, it makes
no, see, and I love it. I love digitals. I love spreadsheet. I know Lindsay's saying she does everything pencil. Oh no, I'm a spreadsheet junkie, because I can sort. I can look at like how many I booked with my agent submitting, how many I booked with me self-submitting. Like she gave us the very specific columns, and there's reasoning behind those columns. Cause I was like, yeah, I started a tracker, but then I gave it up. But now I'm like, after the conversation today, knowing what I'm like why I'm tracking what, because of the insights that'll give me. Like in 6 months, that's a lot of freaking data. And I'm obviously I'll look at it a lot and adjust from here to there and see what those tweaks do. But I feel like there's two sides. Like we talked about goal wise, we talked about business goals, like, how business as far as like, I want to get booked on this show or whatever. But we also talked craft, and about how I can be better in character and, deeper in character faster for auditioning. Like, so in 6 months, I feel like both of those will have moved. 6 months is a long time. Both of those will have moved
it's not,
a great
though.
deal away. Yeah, but I mean, 6 months ago, I was just like kind of getting started with Lori, and I was just re-kicking off my career. So 6 months ago, I had just gotten my headshots picked and back. I mean, like I haven't done so much in 6 months. I think that's why I can look at this like I'm in a growth trajectory, just because I feel like such a newbie, and yet I've worked so hard to get industry knowledge. So I think
you're saying 6 months feels like a long time to you?
It does, just because of everything I've accomplished so far. Now I can't look at it in like, if I look at it in like other parts of my life, then poof, it's just gone. But if I look at it in what I've accomplished in acting in the last 6 months, it's a lot, but I've worked really hard to do that. Having somebody guiding me like Lindsay, I mean, she's so good that I feel like that's what I mean by it's a long time. I mean, I can do a boatload of auditions between now and in 6 months and have those opportunities, both what we're working on in class and then actual auditions that I'm submitting. And that's pretty cool to think about that. To think in June, I'm going to be like, damn.
Right.
Yeah. She feels great.
Yeah.
Because you feel great from being able to up your skills and up your game.
Oh, yeah. That was
and
clear.
Up your revenue.
Yeah. Well, I've always said you've created a little family here and we all get along. But on that and in that, and to your point, it's you're creating a workforce. We're all going to go and work together. And you can either have a workforce that we're all on the same level and it's a great level and we get everybody to that, because we've all got to represent each other. Actors are actors, and what have we got apart from each other? Represent each other, build each other up, and that's what Prodigy does.